But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is in uptown Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Baltimore Ravens and the Carolina Panthers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they interplay here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, it's been a great start to the season. Back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
Jackson on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. They'll run it with McCoy. 9 yards on the gain there, and it's going to bring up a tough 3rd and 7.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, Jackson. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down.
Now that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Taken from just outside the 30. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. On first down, Dobbins. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. They'll try the left side. Dobbins. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance in guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
A tackle for loss there. 2 last week. He's tough to handle coming off the edge.
And when you talk about a defensive end, your first thought is how does he rush the passer? That's where he makes his big plays getting into the backfield. But the best ones can play the run as well. And that's what we're seeing from him, that excellent combination of holding the point of attack and also getting upfield to make plays in the backfield.
13 yards, first down, Panthers. Remember, that was 4th and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and 4th and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's that 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? You just go quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right play call and get everyone into the right spot and win at the line of scrimmage? That's what they did there. Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Focus, defense, focus.
And they give this time to the tailback. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
And he'll be tackled right on the 10, well short of the first down. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
We've seen this offense go for it on 4th down already on this drive. I wonder if they'll go for it again.
I certainly wouldn't rule it out with these guys. Now the offense not going anywhere. They're staying out there. They've converted once already on this drive. Here they go again on 4th down. On the carry, it's Booker. And the Panthers turned away on 4th down. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy's setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got a 2nd and 8 forthcoming. We're scoreless after 1. On 2nd down, it's McCoy. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. On 3rd down, Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach, because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you've got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board, so let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
We'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Off the play fake. McCarty. Looking left side, and it's complete. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down.
Check hot route. Hot.
They'll run on first down. Dobbins, and he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Looking to throw on second down. McCarty throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 19.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target. But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
Get him, boy.
2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. Thought they were going to force a fourth down. Instead, P.I. gives them the first.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really, really be demoralizing.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
Operating from the gun, McCarty. He's got it for a Panther touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year as his guys are on the board first here tonight. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
The extra point up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Jackson now. Throw complete to the tight end, Morgan. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Now it's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jackson trying to hustle his unit up quickly to the line of scrimmage. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. They'll keep it on the ground with McCoy this time. And to the 49-yard line, but no further, and obviously he is well short of the first. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. You're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you've got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are on the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
They'll start out on the ground with Booker. He's got a first down and more past the 30. And finally brought down at the 31-yard line. A big play there just before halftime. And even 50 yards on the ground. Now the Panthers going to signal for their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Off play action. McCarty. And he's got his man on the out route. It's a Carolina first down on a gain of 16.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
70, Indy. Ready, go. Let him know. Ready.
Booker on first down. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while,
and he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early.
Probably under a heavy rush, and down he goes. We have hit halftime, and we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. It's a Panthers first down, 17 yards on the play. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Bravo. 58, boys, 58, 58, Mike.
Off the play fake. McCarty, he's going to look deep down the field. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 13 yards, first down, Panthers. Good spot on the field to go for it. Kind of no man's land, as they call it, and it worked out.
Yeah, they call it no man's land because your punter's telling you it's too short. I'm just going to punt it into the end zone. Your field goal kicker might give you a little raised eyebrow. Might be too far for the field goal, so it gives you a great chance to go for it. Personally, if you have those tendencies to be aggressive as a head coach, you kind of like this spot because it gives you the decision to go ahead and go for it when you want to anyway.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. A gain of 32 that time. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
Ready, break.
They'll run it. This is Booker. And he's going to ball his way in for a Panther score. A great play there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper. They need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. 8 yards here, so that gets them back within striking distance. And now it's third down.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
Here's Jackson to throw on third down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. 12 yards on the return that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent, just the 1 touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader, making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this third and fourth quarter. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. A big play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Jackson throwing again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
And the pressure gets to him again.
They can't stop us every time. This is sick.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big. And now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Oh, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. This is sort of what you would call the put-away drive, isn't it? After they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
A give, running right, it's Booker. Room to run past midfield. It's a Carolina 1st down on a gain of 16.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition. During the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Here we go, set. This is 60 or. Watch 54, watch 54. Gotta do better.
Throwing on first down. McCarty, he's going to rifle one deep left side. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Go. They'll
try the right side with Booker. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Back to throw. McCarty. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. First quarter, Charles, you really emphasized the importance of winning the turnover battle as a visiting team, as an underdog. They haven't forced a single turnover in this game.
And right now they're losing, so no turnovers might lead to no victory.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Lamb. Give him 15 there, and the Panthers have a first down. Well, I'm sure he likes his performance a little bit better than last week. He had the 3 interceptions here, none in the 4th quarter, and he's got his guys in front.
Guaranteed he put in a tremendous amount of work this week.
Then he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. The Panthers on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. He's going to go for it all. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another.
In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And what else could go wrong at this point? This is going to be a defensive touchdown as they keep piling it on. That's something you have to be wary of on your side of the field, that close to the goal line. The defense, they are looking for that football. They got it. They scored it.
You are so right, and the quarterback has to speed things up himself. So close to the goal line, they're going to get after you. Make sure you get rid of the football and in a safe place.
Now the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. To throw is Jackson. Over the middle, it's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now Jackson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and he's going to go down again. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no zero. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And the Panthers coming out now. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
They're still throwing the football here. And obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's the bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guys on the other side of the ball.
And they're enjoying a 4th quarter advantage.
Down. 10-2, sir. I got you, boy. I got you, boy. Get it.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He's going to air one out. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off down near the 5. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the 4th quarter, trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game. Instead of being able to shut the door, it's still cracked open because they can come back on you now. The only people who are really happy about those picks, any fantasy team that has this defense.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now it's Jackson. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. The Ravens send their punter out now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. A call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros.
60 Pittsburgh.
I got you, son. I got you. You're all mine. You're all mine, baby. Get this. You're all mine. Hey, switch gears.
Hey, Sam on.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
You remember me? Let's move.
Off play action. McCarty fighting to stay upright. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
All day, baby. All day. We coming all day.
So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the Panthers, they get back in the win column as they move to 2-1 now on the year. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they too will exit with a 2-1 record. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills.